All right, look, I'm going to be real with you. Like, brutally honest. I did everything the hustle guys told me to do. Like, everything. Andrew Tate, Iman Gadzhi, all these dudes, right? Sleepers for the week, grind 24/7, 4 hours is all you need to become successful. And I bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. So I'm out here working 2 a.m., 3 a.m., training hard, creating content. I'm building a business. I'm doing all the right things. And now I'm broke. I'm burnt out, 10 pounds heavier. My deadlift dropped from 140 kilos to 120. And, I'm averaging, I checked my phone, 5 hours and 47 minutes of sleep over 6 months. 5 hours and 47 minutes. And I got like 4 weeks until I raced a 10K with my brother. So this is my wake up call. And maybe it's yours too. Because here's what nobody tells you about hustle culture. You see, about a year ago, I'm deep in content. I'm watching all these successful dudes and they're all saying the same thing. Work when everyone's sleeping. 4 hours is more than enough. Sleep is for the weak. And, when you see guys who are winning, saying this stuff, you think, okay, well, maybe that's what I got to do too. So I started staying up late, working until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And I was just telling myself, I was grinding. I was hustling. I was doing whatever it takes. Wake up at 10, 11 a.m., immediately feel behind, like I wasted the whole morning. My routine, chaos, like complete chaos. Some days I blink and it was 4 or 5 p.m. and I hadn't even started working on my business yet. But I kept telling myself, this is the sacrifice. This is what it takes. And the truth, I was just tired, bro. And tired people make terrible decisions. You see, my body started falling apart despite training 5 days a week, even seven. I literally wasn't resting at all. I'm putting on weight, stress, fat, cortisol fat around the midsection. My lifts getting weaker, my runs getting slower, my focus getting worse. My bank account empty. Zero savings, just living on prayers. But I kept grinding because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Wrong. Let me tell you the exact moment that I knew something had to change. You see, 4 weeks ago, I signed up for this 10K race with my brother. We're supposed to meet at 6 a.m. to train. Now, I've been sleeping at like 2, 3 a.m. at night, so I'm running on like 4 hours sleep. I look at myself in the mirror. I look exhausted, soft, and defeated. My phone data shows that I averaged 5 hours, 47 minutes of sleep over the past 6 months. My body fat's probably sitting at 18, 20% at the moment when I should be at 12 to 15%. My deadlift, something that I've always been strong at, dropped from 160, 160 kilos to barely hitting 120, sometimes even struggling at 100. And I'm like, wait, I'm not grinding, I'm surviving, and barely. And that's what I knew. Either I fix this now or I watch everything that I built crumble before me. So there's 4 weeks until race day. Time to see if I can actually practice what I preach. Now here's the thing. I wasn't lazy. I was actually optimizing a lot. My training was dialed in. Ultra marathons, marathon training, consistent gym sessions. I was doing full recovery and all that shit. Content creation. I had systems, scripting, filming, editing, all process driven. Work ethic was strong. I was putting in hours, putting in reps every single day. From the outside, it looked like I was doing everything right. But underneath, everything was falling apart. Because here's what I completely ignored. Sleep. Averaging 5 hours, 47 minutes for 6 months. Going to bed at 2, 3 a.m., waking up at 10, 11 a.m. My circadian rhythm destroyed. My body had no idea when to produce cortisol, when to produce melatonin, when to recover. Finances, I was so focused on building that I ignored running out of money. Zero savings. Consistency, routine all over the place. Different wake times, training times, no structure. Recovery protocols, no sleep hygiene, no stress management, no real rest days. I thought recovery was optional, something that you do when you have time. I was completely wrong, because here's what actually happened. My body composition got worse despite training. 8 pounds heavier in 4 months, mostly around my midsection. My runs became slower. My focus just got worse. And my testosterone probably crashed. I haven't checked officially, but I can just feel it, right? There's less drive, there's more brain fog, and it just feels harder to build muscle. And my content suffered. Imposter syndrome hit hard because I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. And you see what I'm saying? That's the bill. That's what happens when you optimize for performance and ignore recovery. You don't fail immediately, you fail slowly, and then all at once. Signing up for the 10K with my brother forced the issue. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I couldn't keep making these excuses. I've got 5 weeks to prepare, and I'm starting from burnt out, overweight, under-recovered. So I made a decision. Fix the foundation first. Not train harder, but train smarter. You see, that meant fixing my sleep, front-loading my day, and prioritizing recovery as much as performance. So in week 1, the changes were bed by 10 p.m, wake up at 6 a.m, non-negotiable. And then train, depending on when I catch up with my brother, was either at 6, 6:30, 7 a.m. And then the most important work was done before 12 o'clock at noon. Proper sleep hygiene, no screens after 9 p.m, room temperature optimization, consistent routine. Getting the room to like 18 degrees was like perfect. And then week 2 data, and I'm tracking this. Sleep average was 7 hours, 32 minutes, up from 5 hours and 47. Morning training, 6 out of 7 days completed. Afternoon energy, actually present throughout the day. My work productivity, more completed by 2 p.m. than I used to do all day. And deadlifts, we're back up to 140 kilos. And I will get to 160 very soon. So the strength is getting back there. And suddenly, I just had my days back again. Training was done early. Energy throughout the day improved. The focus improved. The body responded better. And the difference was that I finally prioritized recovery. Not as a luxury, but as a necessity. And here's what I learned the hard way. Recovery isn't separate from performance. Recovery is performance. You see, your muscles don't grow in the gym. They grow when you sleep. Your brain doesn't get sharper from more input. It gets sharper from rest and consolidation. Your testosterone doesn't increase from more work. It increases from proper sleep and stress management. Because you can't outwork bad recovery. You'll just get worse results while working harder. That's the trap of the hustle culture that we have right now. It glorifies the grind, but ignores the foundation. And the guys who actually succeed, they're not sleeping 4 hours. They're prioritizing recovery as much as they do with work. They don't just post about it on Instagram because I slept 8 hours last night doesn't get likes. The science backs this up. Sleep deprivation drops testosterone by 10 to 15%. Chronic sleep debt impairs protein synthesis, which is muscle growth. Elevated cortisol from stress increases visceral fat storage. And decision-making quality drops 30% when you're underslept. Athletic performance decreases measurably within less than 7 hours. Now, I knew this intellectually. I could feel it, but I ignored it practically, and it cost me 6 months of progress. Don't let it cost you. See, here's exactly what I'm implementing. No fluff, what I'm actually doing. Sleep is non-negotiable. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. 8 hours every night. Room temp, get it to about 18 degrees, and no screens after 9 p.m. I also take a bit of magnesium before bed, and then I front load the day. I'll train 6:30, 7 a.m. with my brother. Accountability. Most important work is done before noon. Leverage morning cortisol peak for performance. Afternoons for lighter tasks. And then you got to optimize for recovery, which is proper sleep hygiene. Reduced caffeine only before noon. More whole foods, single ingredient meals, and stress management. Prayer, solitude, nature, all those things. So I adjusted my training volume. You see, I'm not doing ultra marathons right now. I'm just focusing on the 10K, the lower volume races, while I'm rebuilding foundation. Strength training, I'm doing twice a week at the moment. And then running, I'll do about 3 days, 4 days at the moment. And then one of the days I'll either do a bit of boxing or mobility work. So it's all quality, not quantity. And the financial reality, looking for work to cover expenses. You can't optimize when you're broke and stressed. So you got to choose the humility over ego. You see, the goal isn't to work less, it's to recover properly so the work I do actually produces results. So if you're in hustle culture right now and you're thinking sleep is for the weak, well, let me save you 6 months of pain, because you can't grind your way to success if you're grinding yourself into the ground. Recovery isn't weakness. Recovery is where strength comes from. Now, the most disciplined things you can do isn't to push through exhaustion. It's to rest when you need to rest so you can actually perform when it matters. I learned this the expensive way. I lost money, no savings. I lost time, 6 months of decline. Lost progress, became weaker, softer, and slower. You don't have to. So here's the deal. I'm 4 weeks out from the race day, and I'm documenting this recovery protocol publicly. You'll see if it works. So my goal for this race is to cross the finish line in under 40 minutes. So it's what we call a sub 40 minute 10 kilometer. I think my last 10K was 42 minutes, thereabouts, maybe just under. On top of that, I want to get back down to 12% body fat, or 15 at the most. Deadlift back to 160, and then prove that I can rebuild fast when I fix the foundation. So your role? You're welcome to follow along. Ask questions, call me out if I slip. I'll post some updates, show the data, and just be honest about what works and what doesn't. Because this isn't just about me, it's about proving that recovery isn't optional. It's the foundation everything else is built on. So if you're burnt out, if you're wondering why nothing's working despite all your effort, just check your recovery. You might be optimizing everything except the foundation. Drop a comment if you guys found this valuable, and let me know, what are you optimizing for and what are you ignoring? See, I've got the 7-day reset. It's in the description. It's the same framework, a similar framework that I use to go from a couch potato NPC to a hybrid athlete. And if you want race day updates, just comment race below. I'll keep you guys posted. But anyways, guys, let's stop grinding ourselves down. Let's start building ourselves back up. So I've got 4 weeks. So let's see what proper recovery can do. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's go.